Welcome back to This is the Police. We are on day 89 today. It's October the 11th, a Friday in Freeburg. Ambulance driver takes down robber addict, and Bishop demands name change, and immigrants are up, and it's basically just horrible. The mafia still doesn't quite like us, can't work out why. Well, probably because we keep interfering with their business. So let's see what's about to happen here. And Little didn't come into work. And McNamara, you've been taking antidepressants. The pharmacy said they're getting you more in tomorrow. Yeah, but you can come in tomorrow then. And we start the day right here. Salary. We get money from City Hall, basically. Not a lot, perhaps quite a bit below minimum wage, but we don't have to care about that. We have an assault, though, at St. John's Hospital. A young man became outraged when an elderly woman broke in front of him in line, and he struck her with force. A cleaning woman tried to intervene, but she came under blows as well. So we'll send down Fall and Toad. They can have a look. See around, we have a bomb threat. The core monument has been strapped with explosives. The clear voice yelled into the phone, and then the line went dead. Let's get at least a couple of officers, down to deal with the bomb threat, perhaps, and with SWAT as well. Attempted robbery. Janet Salazar Guerrero startled an intruder who was trying to break into her house. He kept yelling things in a drunken voice, said if I don't open up, there'd be trouble. Oh, well, we can't have that, can we? We'll send down those 3 officers. They can have a look down there. The bomb threat cleared itself here. I think, yeah, it did. It wasn't a bomb. Some children decided to play terrorist and taped some wires to a normal shoebox. Well, that's probably something to talk with the parents about, don't you think? Certainly doesn't seem appropriate. We now have drug use at the park. Well, hang on, could you not have dealt with that when you were down there? Jesus Christ. Mrs. House called in and complained about some addicts who were loitering around the Edgar Allan Poe monument. They are turning their brains to mush. They shoot up right there in the park in broad daylight. No shame, no conscience. Conscience? Coincidence? I don't know. Assault report came in. Offender caught. Officers unharmed. All is good on that front. Hopefully we'll have a couple more officers in. Attempted robbery call cleared itself. The drunken man mistakenly thought he was breaking into his own house, and that his wife was refusing to let him in. Hopefully, though, we'll get a couple of officers to clear it, but no, we don't. We'll send down Shano Jensen, Giffith, and that guy. Hopefully they'll murder him down there. They want him to die. Now we've got an attempted carjacking at the Fur store. A teenager stole an expensive car but lost control and crashed the vehicle and ended up fleeing the scene. So we'll assign... who do we want to put as lead, actually? Oh, we want to go with Beasley. And do we want to go with Wise or Ames? We want to go with Wise, I think. Just for this one. We got reports coming in from the drug use requesting help from me. Several overgrown men in dirty clothes are leaning against the monument. It seems that they are sedated. Next to them are a few syringes and tourniquets. Shake the addicts awake and read them their rights. That seems like a dangerous thing to do, actually. They're drug addicts. They might, have needles and stuff on them. Anybody got an extra dose? Or turn on the siren? I like turning on the siren because it'll wake them up, I think. One of the drug addicts says cops and tries to crawl away. Get down on all fours and try to catch the addict in a fair race. It's not really about being fair, it's just about getting you, Man, we can't keep up with you. Or grab the addict. Let's try and just be a bit, jokey-wokey with him. Which worked. Delightful. Now we have a firefight. Do we? Students report a serious fight going on the street outside their dorm. Several people are shooting at each other with machine guns right in the middle of the road. Pedestrians are hiding behind cars and someone is bleeding on the pavement. This is all the markings of a mafia war. We get SWAT Jensen. There's the chap, and well, we'll need to get quite a few down there, don't we? It's probably a shootout, Oh, we got an update coming in from Chinatown. It's more serious than initially thought. We'll assign a few officers down there to help out, but we are now kind of missing officers for this 2 calls here. In fact, I think we only have 3 officers available, and we have 2 calls. A massacre. I came to the park to play chess, and then people started running past screaming, covered in blood, reported breathless Mr. Connolly. Oh dear, yeah, I've gone wrong there, haven't I? I just ran as fast as I could. It was terrible. Well, probably, not. Okay, you're not doing that, you pussy. A fraud, we received 12 complaints about MoneyGrow, a company which promises reliable investment returns. Once they got the money, they started avoiding all their investors. They became belligerent and urged even their big investors to simply trust them. I'll try and read that again because I think they got some phrasing wrong here. They became belligerent and even urged their big investors to simply trust them. That seems like more sensible, but anyway, Brett Bright, who lost over $10,000, said that the director of MoneyGrow has withdrawn all the money and is preparing to flee the country. Well, how would he know? Moreover, is this not really a case for some sort of serious fraud unit or serious financial crimes unit to investigate? Clearly, this is just a bit above beat officers, but oh well, we'll send down a couple of officers. They can have a bit of a nosy around. Maybe they can find something. I doubt it. Massacre, probably not going to take that one. As weird as it is, we now also got a rape. Delightful. Firefight report came in. Offender was caught. Officers were unharmed. Civilians were indeed unharmed as well. Despite the fact that somebody was bleeding, we'll ask the Mafia to sell it. We need to get some credit from them. Now let's see here. Massacre. Oh, thank God, it was just an unfounded call. Mr. Conley was experiencing the Indian Festival of Colours for the first time. Although I technically don't think they're all painted red. I really hope somebody gets back in time to take this rape call, though. Oh, dear. Yes, we have officers coming in right here. Oh, this is... Oh, Jesus Christ. Seeing the police, a woman quickly hides a file in a safe, then grabs a stack of papers from the table and waves them in the air, saying, "Our paperwork's in order, we're a real company." Ask them what you have in the safe, take the hidden file from the safe, or grab the stack of papers and beat the woman's face with them. Well, let's try and just take it. Oh, well, that was easy. I know why we didn't send it to a serious fraud unit then, because we can just do it right there. We'll do the rape. The rape is important. We'll get Kochi and we'll get Shannon and Jensen to attend a rape at the Atticus Tower. I should read that first. The secretary at the Blink Zone studio reported that a trainee photographer became so excited during a nude shoot that he attacked the model and intends to rape her. Hurry, he locked himself in a room with her and he's tying up with cables. He's tying her up with cables. That makes sense, Brain. Thanks for that. Meanwhile, we got several other calls out here. We got illegal firearm sales at the farm, with just arms sales. Bill Buckler saw a truck and a few cars near his farm. Around them was a group of about 10 people arguing. The farmer wanted to drive these suspicious folks away from there, but when they saw him, they grabbed some weapons from the vehicles and opened fire. Buckler somehow managed to get back to the house safely and called the police. That does seem quite serious, but we need to just keep in mind that we have another call outstanding. So we assign those, and then we read the other one. They can always request assistance if they need it. Assault Entertainment District doing a bodybuilding show. A small group of girls burst into the room and did something that threatens the very lives of the participants. One of the bodybuilders put in the call to the police, but his words were slurred as he spoke through his tears, so he was unable to clearly explain the situation. I wonder what that could be. Was he commenting on the small testicles? Because, you know, they got steroids and that. And apparently that gives them small testicles. I don't have that problem, so I couldn't comment on it. I don't do steroids either. Or fitness. So I'm really not a good subject. Pardon me. I'm not a good subject on that. And we got a massive fight call coming in Chinatown. Report coming in. We also have shots being fired through a window, it seems. What does it say? Men with automatic weapons have surrounded the farmer's house. He's struggling to put up a fight, but he's just armed with an old gun. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know why that is phrased the way it is. He's struggling to put up a fight as he's just armed with an old gun, I think is what they meant to tell us, but that's not what they tell us. We can ambush and beat the criminals in the truck before they can sound the alarm, or go over to the criminals' cars and start shouting and jumping around, or get close to the criminals by crawling across the field. Well, why don't we go SEAL Team 6 on this one and crawl through a field on our bellies? It makes us feel all tactical, you know, carrying our AR-15s and that. The suspects jump into their car shouting, "Who's going to stay to watch the stuff? Shoot to kill, grab a pitchfork and pounce on the criminals." I think the farmer already tried that one and it didn't go well for him. Or shout out, "Drop your weapons and eat dirt." Let's try and go for the last one because it sounds like something the police would do. And indeed it worked. Well, we probably need to ask the Mafia to sell it as well. Hopefully somebody will clear themselves out. I think, we got 3 officers available for a serious fight. Rape report. Offender called. Officers unharmed, civilians unharmed apart from the fact that she was nearly raped. and an unfounded call. The girls were just shouting insults and belittling the bodybuilder lifestyle, which brought the muscle-bound mopes to tears. Well, fair cop to them, I think. Ooh, hopefully somebody will get back in time, actually, because I don't think sending down 3 officers is enough. Let's wait and see. 3 cleared in here. Jensen, Shanau, Birch, and Norlander and Kochi. Men armed with their knives and iron bars broke into the club, determined to show these yellow slopes how we fight here in Freiburg. The fight spread and several bystanders were drawn in, but one managed to escape and called the police. So we'll send those off there. We didn't have time to get the paddy wagon back, I think, but we got attempted carjacking report. Oh yeah, that was the investigation we started. And a double homicide. Let's see here if we got enough. We might actually. Can we slip this one over there? So we know that this could probably follow over here. No. What about... No. Wait, no, was it? No, it wasn't a motorbike, was it? Oh, this might be useful. You know, he walked over, he grabbed a beer, and he tried to pay for it, and it didn't go well, and he put a gun out, and he shot her, and shot him, and then apparently that's not what happened, though. We'll wait with that and see if we get more clues. We might. The Massive Fight Call has requested assistance. Down there we'll get Toad, we'll get O'Hanlon, and we'll get Koizomi down there. Massive Fight report came in here. Let's just check it out before we end the day. Offenders called, I think. Civilians were unharmed despite the fact that there was a massive fight going on. Nobody was hurt. That's always good to know. End the day right here. And what do we have here? We can ask Shanau to stay in late. Or rather work tomorrow, and Carr. What about investigators down here? No, I don't think I want to ask anyone there because we've got to keep them in mind with their partners and that. Maybe Griffith, actually. No, let's try and keep somebody that will actually heal up fully or rest.
Needless to say, I really miss them a lot. I can't wait for the moment when I'll see them again.
Wouldn't you like to see me?
Lana, but we,
Let me guess. You've thought about it, but then you realized this can only bring us more suffering. Besides, it's dangerous given the kind of work we do, and why ruin things when everything is going so well, right?
Well, if you know what I think, then you must be thinking the same thing.
Yeah, Jack. Because it's true. But is it fair?
You know what wouldn't be fair? If your friends caught you in a karaoke bar with an old man.
With an old man?
Maybe you imagine you've been talking to a young Greek god with long golden hair, but I'm a 60-year-old man, Lana.
Listen to me, Jack. Ever since high school, I've been surrounded by old men. At university, half my classmates were old men. They might have been 18 years old, but they were already half in the grave. No goals, no ideas, just endless burned-out looks on their faces, exhausted and empty. At work, even my younger colleagues act like old men. They don't have the stomach for a fight. They're already dreaming of retirement. And then there's you, Jack. The only man for a long time who felt the same age as me. Because you fight. Because there's life inside you.
Lana, it's, Damn, it's true. There's life in me yet.
Jack, you're so cocky.
Oh, excuse me, miss. I am the most promising young prosecutor in the country.
You know it's true.
Well, with that little flirtation over and done, we'll go ahead and check out the headlines of Day 90. Middle school headed to National Physics Olympiad. And action thriller bloody shirt 3 rakes in cash at box office. City fountains cleaned. Well, is that front page news? Mafia likes us a bit more. That's great. I like that. We're good now. We can keep taking them down, working hard to destroy the mafia while making them happy. George Threadaway, city officials want to demolish your house because some bureaucratic error. That happens a lot, I think. If I don't resolve the problem today, my family's going to have to find another place to live. Can I have the day off? Are you just not trying to find loopholes to get off? I really should start marking down when they take days off. Yeah, but come tomorrow. De Brito's too tired, he can hardly walk straight. Can you go home? Given your reader over there, yes you can. Yeah, I know it seems weird that I sometimes say that, they can stay at home, because they're a bit tired, but somebody comes up and says something about a funeral or something and I don't. Well, that's because the people who come up with the funeral has asked for lots of day off recently and, well, frankly, don't do that, because I'll just not trust you. That's a bit of management advice as well for real life. City Hall coming in job slots. Yeah, just all of it, please. We need money. We need more officers. They love us, so why wouldn't they give it to us? Drug use in the burbs. An informant gave us an address for one of the biggest drug houses in the city. According to our information, there's about 3,000 drug addicts, many of them armed. Just past the past day. What? Just the past day. What are they? Okay, I'll try and read it out completely here, but I'm not getting any sense out of that sense. Just the past day, 3 people in there were shot dead and thrown in a corner to rot. Oh, in just the past day. Oh, terrible writing. Let's get over here, get quite a few officers down there. Off they go. We probably don't want to go blues and twos out there. We want to try and take it a bit careful so we don't tip them off that we are coming. But maybe we don't have a choice in that. I now have bomb threat at the high school or elementary school. Let's see here. A physics education teacher noticed a suspicious van parked near the school. There was no one inside, but I heard some kind of strange machine running in the back, just like in the movies. Do we need to evacuate the school? We can turn down a few coppers, can't we, down there? Just assign those. No SWAT. We don't have any SWATs available. We got reports coming in from the drug use in the suburbs. Let's see here. In the syringes and corners, dozens of people lay unconscious and bags and syringes are scattered everywhere. Call an ambulance and begin to protest the addicts who are still conscious. Grab a random addict and give him mouth to mouth. Oh, hell no. Cordon off the building and move all the addicts out. Yeah, let's try and cordon off the building and just clear out the place. A naked addict with a shotgun files out of a room, or files out of the bathroom, and he starts putting holes in the ceiling. Fall to the ground and hide among the drug addicts. Shoot him or hide behind the sofas until the perpetrator runs out of ammunition. Shoot him! Definitely shoot him. Because he's going to shoot people eventually. So we did there. We found loot of heroin. Let's bring it to the police station. I don't want to, cause more investigations into me. Yeah, I think that was it for now. We have a reckless endangerment at the Freeburg Zoo. 4 activists from the group Life After Meat, in a show of support for their fellow animals, entered the zoo and used bolt cutters to remove the locks from the cages. Several wild animals have gotten loose and some are attacking the zoo's visitors. Yeah, activists and just idiots, they're not always the same thing, And officers have returned, so we can send out a couple of officers down here to the reckless endangerment call at the Freeburg Zoo. We'll get Chano, Jensen, Cunnilingus, and McNamara. Bomb threat report came in. There were no bombs in the van, just a bunch of antiques. The van belongs to a junk dealer and collector. No surprises there, then. Oh, we got a call of about an armed robbery in the Muslim quarter. Let's see here, we've just gotten a call from the Halal grocery. 2 armed robbers wearing US President masks just cleaned out the cash box. Oh dear, well, we can send down the officers we have available, really. Oh, great, and they request assistance out there. Well, sorry, we don't have anyone available. You're going to have to take care of that your own. Reckless endangerment. Nobody died. Offender called. Officers unharmed. Civilians were unharmed. Apart from the fact that animals were running loose. Will anyone actually be able to go to this call? I think we may get George Best and Scott Dixon back in time. Let's wait and see here. There we go. Oh, they were always available. Lovely. Dixon, and what do we have? Let's read first. Several people are smashing the glass entrance to the cinema and tearing up the paces outside. They are shouting, "Rotten cinema corrupts the youth," and someone just pulled out a Molotov cocktail. That's a bit extreme, don't you think? We'll get those 3 officers down there. They should be able to handle the situation just fine. And Yadicus Corps is now asking that their old rival Jim Gates has returned to the city. The few last years he spent in China and setting up his factories there. Now he wants to flood the city with cheap knockoffs, threatening every honest businessman in Freeburg. At the present time, not at the present time, he is staying at the True Colour Hotel and plans to buy a house outside the city. Want you to show him the true terror capable of law enforcement agencies. He's to understand he's not welcome in Freeburg. Ooh, I don't know if I can actually do that. Report came in. Oh, we lost someone. Officer dead. Civilians were unharmed. Well, that's sad. We now got a domestic in the Burps. According to Mr. Adams, the Earth is about to be struck by a giant meteor. You see how dark it just got outside? Oh, I can't open my blinds. Anyway, my curtain. The Earth is just about to be struck by a giant meteor. Let me just check again. No, it's not. And there's stones falling on my roof there from the meteor. Oh, one of them just broke into the kitchen window. I have to get my family to safety, send somebody to help. Well, I'm sorry, sir. We can set down a single... Well, come on. What crazy... I do believe that call? I certainly don't. We'll give it a 1. Maybe that's the way this game ends. Quite surprising, I might add, if it does. What about now here? We got destruction of property. One of these hooligans is trying to light a Molotov cocktail, but his lighter won't strike. Deploy fire extinguishers, passing mule zipper, or try to grab the Molotov. Yeah, let's do that one. Instead of trying to do anything else, just try and grab it. Maybe that'll work. It did when I got armed robbery at the riverbank. Mr. That name, withdrew a large sum from his bank account. Then, while he was getting into his car, a man carrying a gun approached him from behind. He told me not to turn around and hand over the money, and then he ran away. When I finally turned around, I saw a tall figure in a hood ducking up the alley. But we can send Dalshano, Cunnilingus, and McNamara down there to have a bit of a look. And we now have to choose, well, we don't send anyone down there, because quite clearly he's a bit of a loopy head, and we're not going to waste police time on that. And now we've got drug possession, domestic disturbance, was overreacting to a hailstorm, which he took to be the pieces of meteorite. The sky outside the darkened because of storm clouds overhead. Now, what about this here? Drug possession, Chinatown. A former chef, or the former chef of a restaurant in Chinatown, says that the kitchen is used to sort and cut heroin. My friend had an overdose from the garbage they mix up in there. Sorry, I had to have a massive yawn, which I just edited out. I want those bastards to pay. Clearly they'd realise that with the food inspections, wouldn't they? Oh well, we'll send down all remaining officers to have a bit of a look-see around. That does take a bit more priority over something at the Atticus Tower, I think. Chris G. Sand is requesting something here. Once again, the fucking blokers have set up camp right outside. Send some police over to scare them off. We can get Jensen and Scott Dixon down there. And armed robbery call requesting further assistance. We'll send down George Best. She can help with that quite nicely indeed. We got an update from the drug possession in Chinatown. The restaurant is crowded with waiters moving smoothly between the tables. Nothing suspicious. Storm the main entrance or block the approaches to the restaurant and wait until civilians have left the building. I suspect that'll take several hours. Enter through the back door. One of the waiters noticed the police and shouts in a strange language. The diners jump up and run towards the door, run to the kitchen, arrest the waiter or detain the guests and question them. In the kitchen, 2 tough-looking men with machine guns open fire on the cops. Throw stun grenades, fall to the ground and shoot the legs of criminals, retreat around the corner and return fire. Throw stun grenades. Yes, that worked. Obviously, it always worked. Let's ask the mafia to sell it. And noise complaint. Well, that's not the most important thing. This call is, it's a mass riot, but we don't have anyone available. Hopefully, though, officers will be returning here in a moment so we can actually send somebody out there. And yes, indeed, officers did return, but we'll just give it just a moment here for Dixon and Jensen as well. There we go. What do we have at the Moonlight Soccer Stadium? Local fans have brought up all the bananas at the grocery store preparing to taunt the visiting rival football team, which consists of almost entirely of dark-skinned men. A judge has been forced to stop the game on a judge? Why would a judge? Do they mean a referee? I think they mean a referee has been forced to stop the game until... yeah, I've gone wrong there. A judge has been forced to stop the game unless the fans will allow the order to be restored, but our fans don't seem to want to settle down. They're singing racist songs and working each other up into a frenzy. The situation could get ugly. Well, I don't know why they called down a bloody judge. I mean, did he have his robe and that little funny British wig thing? And he sat out there with like the hammer or anything? I'd like that. I'd watch that more than I'd watch proper football. I don't watch football, so that's probably not a valid statement. But oh dear, we got a noise complaint as well, which we have a single officer available to deal with. An elderly widow was visiting the grave of her husband when she heard some terrible sounds, wheezing and moaning and rustling as if somebody was trying to climb up out of the ground. Probably just a bit of wind. Disorderly conduct call. The park was raided by the young musical group Motorman, which staged a spontaneous anti-government concert and immediately pulled in dozens of fans. But we have like single officer available, and I don't think he's going to do it even with SWAT. No, we can't, and we can't even attend it later on. Let's try and take a moment here to just see what we got here. Loot found, money. Let's ask the mafia to sell the money. And homicide report, no new frames found. Abduction, no new frames found. And we got 3 new frames found with mole. Noise complained it was a parrot which had flown into the cemetery. Soon the owner of the parrot found him and took him home. I better keep a closer eye on his cage door. Disorderly conduct, offender escaped, nobody died, so it's all good. Crime in progress at the a noise complaint at the Unicorns of Arcadia Gay Club. Jan Kasmi called in a loud music complaint. Apparently he regrets moving in next to the nightclub. I've had it up to here with these fucking queers. Unless you go down and do something about it, the whole neighbourhood is going to go down there and tear them to pieces. Well, we can't do much. I mean, they got permits and that, but we'll send down a couple of officers because it does sound like it might kick off a bit, and we don't want that to happen. And we got requestment of reinforcement over there by the football stadium. We can send down Cecil, a one-man army in his own right, so it'll all work well. Noise complaint report came in, and offender was called. Officers were unharmed, so all is well. And do we have officers outstanding at one point? Oh yeah, we do. We got cars driving out here, rather than to back up the other call. Yeah, mass right call came in here. Let's see what we have. Nobody died. Offender called. Officers unharmed. Did we retrieve any bananas? Any judges? So let's see here. Kasumi, yeah, declared dead. Just so we can hire a new one. All of that checks out. So we'll end it here.